Say it. Say, hey guys, welcome to Herding Little Cows to the Glory of God. Today is the daily. You wanna wave? Hi.
You're supposed to repeat after her.
Okay, so today is Sunday, June 12th. Very cool.
Happy birthday, Rusty.
I graduated high school 30 years ago today.
Mark is old. Say, old man. Okay, so we've had a busy day today. The baby's he should be asleep, but he's not. Okay, so what did we do today? We got up, got dressed, went to church.
Then
And then ate
breakfast again.
The same breakfast.
Well, we had we gave everybody some food before we went to the church breakfast. And then, Mommy can explain why, but we didn't end up going to the church breakfast, so we ate more breakfast before we went.
And then we still got there enough time to have breakfast, right?
Yeah.
Oh, and the kids had another breakfast.
I did go
Donuts.
get a carton donut.
Oh,
And I forgot to take pictures for Roddick of his donut ministry.
sorry, Roddick. No, don't
all
take
we-
your pictures.
So anyway, we got up this morning, and Josiah had a rough night and had a couple short seizures, but they were scary seizures. So Mommy didn't go back to bed very easily. Daddy didn't go back to bed very easily, but he went back to bed easier than Mommy. So we got limited sleep last night. Then we had a couple attitudes going on. Nobody in this room, but there were some attitudes going on in the house. So Mommy had to be on her game to make sure I was correcting attitudes. Daddy on his game too, and neither of us had a whole lot of energy. Daddy did something to his arm. He's sitting over there going, you look like a robot. Huh?
I can't hold the camera.
Oh, you can't hold the camera because
No,
it
I got
hurts.
it. I
Okay,
can hold mine.
so then, so we had attitudes and there was something else. Oh, and the breakfast we were trying to make was a new recipe that wasn't cooking as fast as we wanted it to, so we didn't have it ready to go. So between all of that stuff, we didn't go to the breakfast this morning because that's how it is. And sometimes you have to focus on what needs to be done in your household rather than being at a place. But we didn't miss church. We just were 25 minutes late for whatever the breakfast was. So we then we straightened out some attitudes. We ate our second breakfast. We went to the church, talked to some people, and then did the church service. So they were talking about Samson and Delilah. And what do you guys have to say about Samson and Delilah? Or what was learned today from the story of Samson and Delilah?
Yeah, it was Judges 16, and the first thing he talked about was just sin in our lives and how Samson, he seen something, liked it, and took it, which was the sin of Adam and Eve also. So, and just like sin in our lives and like putting things in place to help us fight sin. That was the first thing.
Yeah, one of those ways to fight sin is to not be places that would easily lead you into temptation.
Right.
Yes, I was also going to say the thing about the besetting sins that he talked about in the start of the sermon. But he was also talking about how the people who were in the Temple of Dagon, or on the roof of the Temple of Dagon, actually, when Samson collapsed it, were the lords of the Philistines. And how, like, Samson's mission was to start to subdue the Philistines. And one of the ways that that was accomplished was through his collapsing the temple, which was also the time of his death. But it wasn't just how many Philistines were killed, but it was the lords of the Philistines. And so God is working to subdue the enemies of his people, even through sinful men who can't contain themselves.
He really
I
wants
see
your camera.
something, I want it,
I'm going to take it.
Contain yourself, man.
So
Learn the lesson of Samson. Yeah.
Phil was talking about the besetting sins. So sins that you in your life are always going to have to fight. But he was talking about how Samson wasn't fighting his sins. Samson was just, like he said, finding something he wanted and taking it. And he was talking about objectively fighting sin and defensively fighting sin. So offensively.
You said objectively.
Somebody didn't sleep well last night.
Offensively and defensively. And so talking about, so there's always going to be sins that we specifically, personally, have more trouble with and are going to always have to fight. Like, I do not like alcohol. I don't have something against other people drinking alcohol as long as they're not getting drunk on it, but I don't like the taste of alcohol. So that is not my besetting sin. I am not like always thinking about a bottle and trying to get drunk. It's not the thing I struggle with. I struggle with other sins like pride and different things. So anyway, it was talking about not putting yourself in the place where you're going to be wanting to do the sin, like you're going to be tempted to that sin more so. So like if you have a problem with lust, I wouldn't suggest being a lifeguard on a beach. Probably not the job for you. But then also defensively fighting sin, because things are going to come up in our lives that we're going to have to say, okay, this is a temptation for me, and I need to have a game plan. I need to have a strategy. And so he mentioned something about, I was kind of in and out because Josiah had a seizure during church, so I heard parts of it. But Tim Challies?
Yeah,
was
Tim
that?
Challies' battle plan. I don't know what the rest of it is, but it's a battle plan, and it's 4 pages long.
It's 4 pages long, and it tells like a step-by-step of how to fight sin defensively. So if you have a problem with anger and anger starts to brew in you on something, the plan to go through. But I didn't see it. It was up on the stage. I didn't see it. So anyway, yeah, so we did church this morning, and then we went, I know, what? We did church. We took our lunch with us, and so on our way back, for people who are from around here, we stopped at the little park across from Hannaford in Waldoboro to eat next to the little lake, river there.
The nameless
Creek,
park.
whatever, the nameless park. And then we drove from there and we went to Payson Park in Warren, which was really nice. The kids played on the playground for a little bit while this guy took a nap in the car.
He really wants that.
Is he on my phone right now? Here, look.
And then,
Get in.
so they then walked across the...
Ooh.
He's gonna
Don't eat it.
Eat it. Hey, look.
They walked across, there's a bridge across the river. They walked across that and walked in some tick territory, so we did tick checks when we got back. Here, look. And they got back just in time for us to leave as a birthday party showed up. There were a lot of people. A lot of people around. And a dog that wasn't on leash. So people who watch my videos that have dogs. I have children that are afraid of dogs. I know you love your dogs. Just know that when the sign says that your dog should be leashed, I expect your dog to be leashed because my kids get scared when your dog runs up to them.
We
And I don't
go
care.
to parks where dogs are allowed off leash.
Right. Yes, we go to
just
parks
don't go
only
there.
where
it's
the
okay
parks.
to have them. We just don't go there.
Yes. But my children are scared of dogs. And so if your dog comes running up, Naomi, can you go check on him? He's probably okay, but
Over, yeah.
if your dog comes running up to my kids off leash, no matter how much you try to tell my kids they're friendly, my kids are going to freak out. We've had it happen where one of my children went screaming when a dog came up. And I know people are going to say, well, you need to teach your kids to be good around dogs because the dog might bite them if they're screaming. My child was in a safe place and someone's dog came running up to them. So, just going to leave it at that. Anyway,
Your
also,
dog may get injured.
something I didn't mention
Our
on
viewership lowers after this video.
it's not that I don't like dogs. I just like people to follow the rules.
Hey, Wheelie, do
If-
you have anything offensive you want to say?
No, I can't think of anything right now.
Hold on, I've got another one. So, the other day, we were at a beach. I'm gonna have an unnamed beach just in case this person happens to be watching my video, but I don't think they are. But anyway, we went to this unnamed beach, and there was a lady playing with, I'm assuming, her child at the beach. Her child, I think, got wet in the water, and so she stripped her child naked, and he ran around on the beach for about 5 minutes completely naked.
And went up to the parking lot and had a whole
Yes, walked all the way up the parking lot and probably, I don't know, 500 yards up the road or
Our
something.
children felt
to their
very
car.
uncomfortable.
Yes, we are a very modest family, and I know our modesty standards are different than other people's, but there are pedophiles out there everywhere. And when you're in public, it is okay for anybody to videotape you. So, just before this person, we realized the child was naked, we had our camera out videotaping our children. And so that child may have ended up on one of our videos by accident because we didn't know,
Or some of the bad interests on purpose.
right, on purpose. So, just be
Protect your
careful.
children.
Yeah, protect your children. Your children do not have to be naked in public all the time. And even if your children aren't naked in public all the time, when you're posting them naked or almost naked on your Facebook and things like that,
You're
pedophiles
feeding the
use
pedophiles.
those also because they have ways to make it so that Photoshop it so the diaper's off and all of those things. So just know that you need to protect your children. It's harder to do when your child's in a onesie or something like that. So anyway, pedophiles are going to do what pedophiles are going to do, but you don't have to give them material to do it with. Here, Naomi, I'm going to hand him over. Can you walk with him? So anyway, so the rest of our day. What did we do the rest of our day? We went to the beach. We went to the river. Don't take your dogs places they're not supposed to go, and keep clothes on your kids. And
Well, that's twice.
then we came home. We played outside for a while. Saw my mom, who wasn't feeling well yesterday, so we got some time to spend with her today. Are you okay, Naomi?
Yeah.
Okay. And then played outside, had supper. Oh, you probably want to know our meals today. We had granola twice this morning. For lunch. For lunch, we had cheese. We had tortilla chips. We had celery. We had tomatoes. Salsa, pretzels.
Cheese.
We kind of threw a whole bunch of stuff that went in a cooler into a cooler and took it with us. And then for supper, we had burgers and a little bit of leftover french fries from our anniversary day the other day. And
It was simple,
green
but it was
beans. Green beans with some coconut oil on them, thrown in the oven. Like frozen green beans, coconut oil, and thrown in the oven. That was our supper tonight. And then, was that it? Yeah, that was it. So then we prayed. We had some tired children, and 2 of them fell asleep during prayer time. So our newest thing we're trying to do is not have the other children wake them up when prayer time's over, and let them just keep sleeping till they wake up and manage their way back to bed. So one's still sleeping on the living room floor. The other has woken up and gone to her bed. We will put them in their beds before we go to bed tonight, but we're trying to not get them to sleep for 5 minutes and then have them wake up being like, I want to go to sleep. And it takes them forever to get back to sleep. So we're going to try it tonight. We'll see. Tonight was our last night with Waylon. We had our last supper.
I'm not gonna cry or not.
So Waylon goes home tomorrow. So our video tomorrow.
I cry on the plane. Yeah, I cry on the plane.
That's good because Heartless isn't that list of bad stuff in Romans 1.
So our video tomorrow will maybe have some extra stuff in it because we're going to take Waylon to do some stuff. Gas prices are expensive, so we have not gone out with Waylon a lot other than to do chores. So tomorrow on our way to Portland, we're going to stop at a couple different places. So come back tomorrow and you might get to see a big globe. You might get to see a big boot. You might get to see some fishing stuff and tent stuff. Maybe John might get to see John. So come back and you'll get to find out who all these things, what all these things are and what they're doing. But you got to say bye to Waylon because it's his last night.
Bye. Till next time.
We're trying.
What?
We're trying to convince Waylon he should have his own daily when he gets back. So if you think Waylon should have his own daily videos, write it in the comments. Make sure you write lots of comments so we have to make him do the daily. If it maybe not even a daily, maybe a weekly. Weekly with Wayland. If you want that, let us know. So we'll see you guys next time on Hurting Little Cows to the Glory of God.